A month on, the Pogues are making do on their deserted island now known as Poglandia, when what appears to be a savior of a plane notices them and comes to their rescue. Unbeknownst to them, the pilot is not who he appears to be, and Kiara is kidnapped in the scuffle. Rafe, filling in word on his progress, works with Rose to find a buyer for the cross, despite her hesitations with Rafe taking the lead. Meanwhile, Mrs. Limbury meets with Big John, and he tells her that he's wanted to tell his son that he's been alive, but that it would put John B. at risk. The remaining Pogues head out to search for Kiara and discover more ties to the royal merchant, gold, and the cross. Kiara discovers the identity of her captor, the mysterious Carlos Singh, who believes it is his destiny to uncover the treasure of El Dorado and requires the diary of Denmark Tanny. Whilst her friends race to free her, Kiara is torn when Rafe is revealed to also have been lured to Singh's estate and proposes an alliance so they can both escape. Big John uses the local church bells to draw John B to him. Kiara and Rafe escape together, but she ultimately betrays him after seeing his vicious nature, steals his boat, and is reunited with her friends, minus John B, who has decided to follow the bells, praying his instincts are right and his father is alive. John B is astounded to find his father at the church alive. Their reunion is short-lived, however, as Singh's men close in on them. The rest of the Pogues are forced to flee without John B after they come under fire from Singh's forces, but everyone heads to Kildare. The group is strained when a jealous Pope picks up on the romantic tension between Kiara and JJ, but a meaningful talk with Cleo helps him work through his feelings. Now back in the Outer Banks, coming home is easier for some than others. JJ finds out he has been evicted, Pope's promise in education has been squandered, and Sarah finds herself homeless. Meanwhile, John B helps his dad to look for clues to the location of El Dorado. But Big John's insistence on keeping the plans between them strains John B's relationship with the gang. Rafe is furious when he discovers Ward wants to donate the gold cross to a museum as a gesture of goodwill. He returns to Outer Banks and the Pogues decide to steal it back from him. The plan involves Pope and Cleo sneaking onto the crate train the cross is in, whilst JJ and Kiara disable the tracks ahead. Sarah convinces a reluctant Topper to assist them. However, they realize the cross on board the train was actually a fake, much to Pope's dismay. It's revealed that Rafe actually melted the cross down, against his father's wishes, and intends to sell the pieces. Big John's obsession with finding the treasure has caused John B to become secretive and distant from his friends and Sarah, who urges him to let her in. A stressed-out John B snaps at her and Sarah leaves hurt. JJ overhears Rafe and Barry discussing the now-melted cross and rushes to tell Pope and Cleo. Pope, already upset about his failed education, is incensed to learn about the defilement of his family's cross. Sarah runs into Topper and he invites her to a party where she reconnects with her old cook friends and impulsively kisses Topper. Cleo finds Pope about to kill Rafe, but she stops him and he breaks down in her arms. John B and his father make progress in their search, but Big John is taken captive by Singh and they head to South America. Sarah wakes up the following morning next to Topper and regrets her actions. Pope and Cleo search Pope's family heirlooms for clues to Denmark Tanny and find an invaluable letter from Tanny to his daughter. JJ and John B go on an adventure as they try and work out how to get to South America to rescue Big John. At an anniversary party for Kiara's parents, Sarah confesses to John B that she cheated on him with Topper. A heartbroken John B, when goaded by Topper, beats him up in front of everyone. In the aftermath of the party, Topper tells Sarah he is pressing charges against John B and asks her to testify against him, to which Sarah is conflicted as she loves John B but is fearful that he doesn't love her anymore. Ward returns to Outer Banks, concerned about Rafe's self-assurance with his dad not around. Kiara's parents express concerns about her safety around the Pogues, especially JJ, whom her father has never trusted. They suggest a wilderness re-education camp to which Kiara is opposed to. JJ signs him and a reluctant John B up for a minor drug smuggling operation in exchange for a flight to South America, but John B is ultimately arrested. Rafe asserts his dominance over his father, but Barry tells him Ward will always be a problem and that the only solution is for him to be killed. Sarah goes to Ward for help getting to South America, and he allows her to use his jet, desperate to make amends with her. She also convinces Topper to delay the assault trial by a day. John B is released and he reconciles with Sarah. The group hangs out at John B's house. Topper drives by, and after seeing John B and Sarah getting intimate, he sets the place alight. The next morning, after barely making it out to John B.'s burned house, the Pogues convene at the airfield, ready to board the jet. However, Kiara is cornered at her house by staff members from Kitty Hawk, a wilderness behavioral reformation camp for troubled teens her parents signed her up for, and is taken away. Time is running out for the Pogues as the police, having been tipped off to John B.'s location by Topper, are closing in. JJ rushes to Kiara's house to find her, and her parents tell him they sent her to Kitty Hawk. JJ sets off to rescue her, while the others anxiously wait at the airfield. Meanwhile, Rafe has followed Barry's advice and decided Ward needs to be killed so he can start his own Cameron legacy at Outer Banks. He asks Barry to carry out the act, but Barry contracts a hitman so the murder can't be traced. Soon after, however, Rafe has a change of heart and tells Barry not to go ahead with the hit, but is horrified to learn Barry has already paid off the hitman. Ward is attacked and his leg is injured, but Rafe saves him. A passerby recognizes the fugitive Ward, so him and Rafe flee on Rafe's bike to the airfield. The gang there is shocked to see them, and tensions increase when Rafe claims they have to leave before the police arrive and arrest both Ward and John B. With no time left, the group boards the plane minus Rafe, who Ward makes amends with and gives his blessing to take control of the Cameron businesses at Outer Banks. Back at Kitty Hawk, JJ secretly communicates with Kiara and discovers the cabin she is in. The two reunite and JJ apologizes for their previous argument. They confess their love for each other and kiss before making their escape, heading to South America aboard Barracuda Mike's plane. Everyone arrives in Orinoco, South America. JJ and Kiara bump into Pope and Cleo running from Singh's men. Sarah and John B. overhear Big John shouting nearby and attempt to rescue him, before he escapes himself and the trio run away. They find Jose, a river guide who will take them to the dig site of El Dorado, but tempers flare when Ward invites himself along. The four head upriver to the dig site. John B., his father, and Sarah begin the climb. Meanwhile, the others have found their own boat and are making their way to the site too, but discover that Singh knows where John B. and Sarah are and that they are in danger. Finally, the trio makes it to the site and successfully solve the riddle. Suddenly, Singh corners them and threatens to shoot John B. unless Big John reveals the riddle. When Big John seems to hesitate, Sarah rushes forward and tackles the gun away. The three plus Ward escape. Sarah is furious to learn her father betrayed them by telling Singh their location, and she threatens to shoot him if he doesn't stay away. Shocked, Ward leaves, and the others press on. They ultimately find the cave entrance where El Dorado is, but John B. notices his father got shot badly during the scuffle. The cave leads to a pool of water that Sarah realizes is deeper than previously thought. The entrance to El Dorado is underwater. Big John isn't able to fit through, so he instructs John B. and Sarah to find it and tells them the final part of the riddle. Meanwhile, Singh is tracking them from Big John's blood and closing in fast. John B. and Sarah discover El Dorado and collect a piece of the gold before returning to Big John. However, they are met by Singh, who threatens them both for the gold. Big John emerges and threatens to blow up the entrance to El Dorado with a stick of dynamite. Singh claims he's bluffing, but Big John throws the stick and the cave explodes. Singh is killed, but John B., Sarah, and Big John get out. Suddenly, Ward holds them all at gunpoint. The rest of the Pogues rush to their aid, wielding machetes. However, one of Singh's men swears vengeance for his fallen friends and moves to shoot Sarah. Ward pushes him off the side of the hill with him, killing them both. Big John suddenly collapses from blood loss, and the group hurries him back to the boat and head towards Outer Banks. He doesn't make it and passes away. 18 months later, the group is being commended for uncovering the location of El Dorado. Suddenly, a mysterious man approaches the group with an offer to uncover the sunken treasure of Edward Teach, more commonly known as Captain Blackbeard, and they happily agree.